Hi everyone, it's Sarah and today's video is all about, what is it all about? My top tips for packing hand luggage. Now I think I'm somewhat of an expert at this because I worked as cabin crew for almost 8 years with a major international airline. So I've done my fair share of traveling and I pretty much got it down to a T. So I'm here to tell you the essentials that I have, how I pack them. So let's get started. I have 2 bags that I travel with. One is going to be one that I put in the overhead locker, and one is going to be my handbag. For my cabin bag, I invested in a good one and it's got locks on the side. And when I bought this, I wanted to make sure that I could use it on all airlines. So I checked out the dimensions that were suitable for all airlines so that I wouldn't have to think about it every time I go flying. I have locks on the side. I know your cabin bag is never too far away from you, but I don't like to be accessing my cabin bag throughout the flight. I like to put it up above my head in the locker and forget about it for the flight. I don't want to be getting up and down, opening things, blocking the aisle. I know how annoying that can be because I was working on a plane. So this is quite a durable bag. It's been through quite a few flights and it's still in pretty good nick. So I plan to have this for quite a long time. I love that it locks on the side. The last time I touch this bag before getting on a flight is maybe if I've gone to duty free and I want to put whatever I bought into the bag and leave it up there until the end of the flight. Make sure it's not too heavy. The crew are not obliged to help you put that up there. If you can't put it up, they're not going to put it up for you. So don't overpack it. If you can't pick it up, leave it behind. Don't overfill it. And of course, they're going to be pretty strict on the allowance for your carry-on baggage anyway, so you are restricted. But I know once you get through security and you go to duty free, all hell breaks loose. You can buy what you want. Just make sure you can lift it and put it up yourself. All I want to be carrying then with me to keep close by is my handbag, and I make sure it's a good size handbag like this. A handbag like this is going to fit everything inside of it, and it will also go under the seat in front of you or in the overhead locker. Wow, I sound like I'm working again. These are the 2 bags that I want. A good carry-on cabin bag that I can put in the overhead locker and a handbag. Now, of course, check with the airline you're flying with because I know, especially if you're my European peeps out there, the likes of the low-cost airlines are not going to allow you too much hand luggage. So check with your airline first. Okay, so what do I put in each one of those? Well, they're very different. So my cabin bag, as I said, it's something that I don't want to access throughout the flight. I want to just keep it up there. And really what I put in this bag is emergency things. Like if I arrive at my destination and my main suitcase has not arrived, I want to have peace of mind that I can get through at least 24 hours without having too much trouble. The most essential thing, an emergency pair of underwear. You have to have an extra pair of underwear when you're traveling. We are not doing this inside out, back to front kind of thing. No, no, no. Have your spare pair of underwear. It's going to get you through another 12 to 24 hours when you arrive at your destination. You want to feel a little bit fresh, and I could not be without these. I've learned my lesson in the past. My bag got lost on my way to the US. I'm not going to mention the airline. I did struggle when I got there. I had to go straight out shopping after a long flight. So it was not an ideal situation. So number 1, emergency pair of underwear. Always. The second thing I put into this cabin bag are a pair of flip-flops. At least you can take off the shoes that you've been wearing and your feet can feel a bit fresh as well when you're walking around in your new destination. Now, of course, it depends on your climate as well, but I like to have flip-flops as well to wear into the shower. I don't like standing on like hotel shower floors. Don't like to go barefoot in them, so I always have my flip-flops so that I can freshen up. My third item that I pack into this bag is a bikini. Now, of course, you may or may not be going to a destination where you need a bikini. However, if you are, you have it on hand. You don't have to go out shopping like I had to when I was going to the US. You can take it easy, freshen up, and they double up as another pair of underwear. And they don't take up too much space. The next thing I put in is a change of top. So this can be a really light top or maybe a skirt as well, or a pair of shorts, again depending on your destination, but another top to freshen up, especially if you've been on a long flight. This is really great to have if your suitcase happens to go missing. Next thing that goes into my cabin bag is the majority of my makeup. Some of my makeup I will take into my handbag, but the majority of my makeup and my makeup brushes. And I know a lot of people pack these into their suitcase, but I don't, because that time that I lost my bag in the US, I was calculating the cost of all my makeup brushes and my makeup, and I just couldn't believe that I might have to purchase all of them again, and that scared the life out of me. So now I put all of these into my cabin bag. Now, of course, in your makeup, if there's any liquids, separate those and keep them less than 100 ml. Take them through in your handbag, and then you can pop them in after security into your cabin bag and then leave them there for the flight. My next tip for packing your cabin bag is to put your toiletries in here. So these are obviously ones that you're not going to be accessing throughout the flight. A tip of mine is to get a bar of soap that you can use for your hair and your body. This doesn't have to go through the security because it's a solid bar of soap. So it's really handy, really convenient, especially if you're reaching the limit of packing up your little bag for your liquids. I'll also put my deodorant in here. No point in taking on a spray deodorant onto an aircraft. I can't tell you how many times the smoke alarm has gone off and we've come running down the aisle with a fire extinguisher, burst in the door to the toilet, only to have someone putting on their deodorants or spraying their hair. It's really not worth the stress for the crew. So use your roll-on deodorant. The thing that I never traveled without was some dried snacks like dried oats or cereal bars or something like this. I always traveled with them because I didn't want to reach a destination and be hungry and be so tired that I didn't want to go out or order room service. I just wanted a little snack. So I brought my own things in my cabin bag. Be careful again what country you're traveling to. The likes of Australia, the US, the UK, they're all going to be pretty strict on food, but generally it's fresh food. So they will give you the declaration card, fill it out correctly, declare that you've got these food, and it won't be a problem. You might want to put in a warm hoodie or a cardigan into your cabin bag, especially if it's a long flight, because it can get chilly up there, and if the airline doesn't provide blankets, you will definitely need something. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long and uncomfortable flight. Okay, so let's move on to my handbag and what I would recommend you put in yours. The most essential item you will have, or items, are your documents. I like to keep mine in a little pouch. You will not get far without your documents, so it's nice to keep them handy in one place, neat and tidy. And obviously you will have your passport, your tickets, visas, anything, any documentation like that should all be kept close by you at all times. They should never really be out of your sight. They are that important. The next thing I recommend that you put into your handbag is any medication that you're taking. Now, if you happen to be taking quite a bit of medication, you can take what you need out for, say, the next 24 hours or so, or 48 hours, and you can use a little pill box just like this and organize your pills accordingly. Now, I don't tend to travel with a lot of medication. Thankfully, I don't need to take it, but I use these for my earrings and jewelry. The next thing I put into my handbag is my toothbrush and a little toothpaste. Some airlines will provide these on board. I try not to use anything, if at all possible, to reduce my waste. That will see me through the flight. It's nice to freshen up at the end of the flight with a little. One thing I always make sure to pack in my handbag is a reusable water bottle. Make sure that it's empty before you go through security. Once you get through, you might have a hydration station at your airport, or you can ask one of the crew on board to fill it up for you. And it saves you asking for those small glasses every time you want water. And of course, it's so important to stay hydrated on flights. So that is absolutely essential for me. I also bring my little reusable coffee cup or teacup. If you don't drink tea or coffee, it's good for gin and tonic too. So again, I try to reduce my usage of any of those plastic cups that they use. They just get thrown in the bin. They're one use only, and I hate that. So to be stylish and environmentally friendly, bring your own coffee cup. Of course, a very important item that is never too far from me is my mobile phone, and always, always, always I bring my charger as well. Most flights now will allow you access to Wi-Fi, and therefore your battery runs down quite a bit. So it is good to have your charger close by, and usually there's a place in the seat where you can charge it as well. Speaking of electronics, I also like to bring my tablet with me. So I love ebooks and watching movies. This is a great way to do it. Also great to have all your books stored in one place. So highly recommend something like this. And it fits really nicely into my handbag. Of course, you don't want to annoy the hell out of the people sitting beside you, so I always remember to bring my earphones as well. Absolutely essential for the flight. More and more people bringing their phones and their iPads, and they're using it to entertain children, and they're just so loud. And it's very irritating if you're on a long flight. And I don't like using the ones on board because the quality is really poor, so I like to bring my own. I will also always have a pair of sunglasses in my handbag ready to put on when I disembark the flight, especially if it's after a night flight and you're arriving into morning time, or you're facing some kind of time zone difference, jet lag. Sunglasses will help you to adjust, especially if you intend on going to bed when you arrive. So just to keep that little bit of darkness, and as well if you're, appearing a little bit tired, great. Big pair of sunglasses will do the trick. And another item that will always be in my bag is a little hairbrush. It won't be my usual hairbrush that I use. I use kind of like a paddle hairbrush. So it'll just be a small one, handbag size, that will just do for freshening up. Two things that I put together and are always in my handbag are antibacterial gel and also moisturizer. So as I said, the air can be very drying on a plane, so it's nice to just freshen up and moisturize. Now, the last couple of things I'll mention that I put in my handbag always, always, always are earplugs and an eye mask. I have trouble sleeping at the best of times, so to make life easier, and if I'm particularly tired or if it's an early morning flight, I like to put my earplugs in, drown out the noise, eye mask on, and pretend I'm in bed, and hopefully arrive nice and fresh at my destination. Doesn't always happen like that. So as I mentioned before, I put the majority of my makeup into my cabin bag. I lock it away and I don't see it till the end of the flight. But I do carry a few essential items, and they include a little bit of concealer just to tidy up any blemishes. You'll also maybe want a little spritz for your face, again under 100 mils. And this is really refreshing at the end of the flight, and it just sets your makeup again so that it doesn't start to look cakey, because that air is going to ruin your makeup. Hydration spray for your face, your concealer, a little bit of mascara and a little bit of blush, a lip balm and a little bit of lipstick is just going to make you look far more alive when you land, and people will never know that you've been on a flight. I never go anywhere without a pen. So you never know when you might need a pen. Filling out landing cards or declaration forms, you just don't know, or maybe you have a bright idea in the middle of the flight and you want to write it down somewhere. So I never go anywhere without a pen. So these are my essentials for packing your hand luggage. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it useful, please let me know by liking it, and comment below on your essential items that you take while traveling. And I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.